Probably the most common comment I hear from people when I'm teaching is I'm no good with color. And I want to share some of my secrets for working with colors with you today and hope to give you a little bit more confidence. Part of it is that when we were growing up, at least in my generation, we were not taught to be creative. We were not allowed to let our creativity come through. We were dictated to. We were given something to color, and it had O's and R's and Y's on it, and where there were O's we had to color it orange, and where there were Y's we colored it yellow, and we were graded not on our creativity, but on whether we stayed within the lines and followed the instructions. And you know, I'm here to tell you you can use whatever colors you want. It's not the colors you use, it's what you put with them that make them look good together, and I'm going to share those few secrets with you. My basic philosophy of color and the way I've worked with it for years is whatever colors you're using, add enough more colors to get those colors to shade together, and I will guarantee you you'll have a perfect color scheme every time. Within that group of colors, as you shade them together, there's just a few things you need to have as a part of that. One of them is what I call the deep dark. It is a color that is darker in general than all the other colors you're working with, and it makes the other colors pop. You also need what I call an accent, which is something a little bit brighter in general than all the other colors you're using. It's still part of the color scheme that you're working with, part of those shaded colors, but it's that little bit brighter. And then fourthly, you've got the shaded colors, the deep dark, the accent, and fourth, you need to make sure your palette of colors includes some neutrals. Now, what are neutrals? Neutrals can cover a wide range of the color spectrum, but they're grayed down, less saturated colors. Khakis, browns, beige, tan, gray blue, gray green, just the more muddied down colors. They also help to make your brighter colors shine. This is my daylilies quilt, and it illustrates a lot of the concepts that are part of my color theory. I have multiple fabrics, more than 100. The colors within that palette shaded together. I've got places where there's a deep dark, where there's an accent, and certainly there's also a lot of neutrals. But often people get overwhelmed by how can I possibly manage 100 or more different fabrics. And I'm going to give you a little tip that shows you an easy way to work with them, and it will start you on your process of learning to shade colors together as well. Take the portable palette, turn it upside down, have somebody pick a swatch, any color that they want. You know, I just kind of fan it out. I guess I'll pull this one. It's number 41. Then I take 20 swatches in order. I could go from 41 to 61, or I could go to 41 to 21. I think I'm going to go down to 21 here. So I have these swatches that are all in order, and then I just fan them out. And then turn them over and see what we've got. They always look good no matter what, and here's a really nice arrangement of colors from yellow through the reds. Now let me show you how this illustrates my color technique. First of all, you have the shading of colors where all the colors shade together, and you want it to be a smooth blending from one to the other. That's the first rule of my color theory. The second one is that it's really important to have what I call a deep dark. And I'm going to find the two darkest fabrics here, and I think it would be these two right here. And I'm going to hide them away and show you what happens to this palette when you take the darks away. Do you see how it just loses some of its impact when that dark is not there? Let's put them back in again. You can see it with and without those darks. So that's the second rule. Have something that's darker in general than the other colors. It's not snapped in there like something totally different, just part of the blending, but just a little darker. The other thing is it's important to have an accent. Now I've got quite a bit of bright in this palette, but I would say there's three fabrics that are jumping out at me as really bright. This one and these two yellows. And you see what happens when I take those away? Yeah, now we have some other bright ones, but having those in there just gave that little bit of extra spark to the palette. So we have the shading of the colors, we have the deep dark, we have the accents, And the fourth thing you have to think about when you're creating a color palette is to have the neutrals. Now, these are what I considered the neutrals, the more grayed down. We've got the brighter reds and vivid oranges here, and then these little bit more subdued. Look what happens when I take these away. It's all just too bright. You need to have that little bit of dirty colors in there to make the other ones just come alive.